So we're going to start 10 years ago when we launched the community. We walked from our house across the road, which is called the Ember, and we walked with a lighted ember across the road, and we lit a candle here in this church hall 10 years ago. And Gillian, with her dad, carried the ember, because in old Celtic tradition, when a woman got married, she brought an ember from her house, the house where she grew up, to her new house where she was going to live with that. So we brought an ember.
Today, 10 years ago, Gillian started our community. She came to live with us, and that was the beginning of our community. 10 years ago. Were you happy, woman? This candle has been made for us by Larson Kenny. And for those of you who don't know, I came to this community in Belfast, and Larson and Kenny sent me here. So today they have made our candle for us. So ready? Will you hold the candle? And from that candle today, we have some new candles to light. People that we particularly want to remember, and people that we want to celebrate. Can you hear me without the microphone?
Yes, perfect.
Yes. So Gillian, I'm going to ask you to sit down for a minute, and I'll call you up again in a minute. And once we've lit these candles, Murray's going to play a piece of music, so we can just take a moment to quiet ourselves down and remember the people who are represented by these lights. So the first light is going to be held by Geert. And Geert was the first house leader of Larson Belfast. We also have a candle for Donny. Can you do this, Donny? Donny is from Larson. And long before Larson Belfast, Donny was praying for a community in Belfast. And his good friend, and our good friend, was a man called Robin Harris. And sadly, Robin actually is the person in whom the seed for Larson Belfast was planted. And sadly, just 2 years ago, Robin died. So we will today give thanks for Robin's life and for all that he brought into being. We also have a candle for our good friend, Jeffrey. And Jeffrey was one of our first 4 members. And he lived with us and changed our lives. And a number of years ago, he died suddenly. And he took a huge gift out of the community and left us with a gift. And so about 6 years ago, just next week, Jeffrey died. So we will ask Gillian to hold the candle for Jeffrey. Or actually, we might ask Larry to hold the candle for Jeffrey. Because Larry is in our community because of Jeffrey. We really wanted to welcome Larry, and Larry didn't want to come and live with us. So Jeffrey knew the magic potion. He put 4 spoons of sugar in every cup of tea that he poured for Larry. So we reckon that Larry is here because of Jeffrey's sugar treatment. You ready? This is for Jeffrey. So the next candle is for Marchant. And Marchant was an assistant in our community for a year, who came from Poland. And Marchant died tragically just after he left the community. And the interesting thing was that Marchant became engaged to one of our other assistants, who was from Germany. So in many ways, our community has always been a place of bringing people from different parts of the world together. So in Marchant's name, and for all of the assistants who have come and gone in different ways, we are going to ask Scott to hold the candle. And finally, Noah. Noah came to our community when he was 2 years old. We're going to see pictures of Noah when we show you some pictures later on. Look at him now. He used to sit on my lap and we used to jiggle each other around. He did more jiggling than I did. So Noah is here to light a candle, and Noah's candle represents the growth of our community and the future of our community. And I suppose the size of our community.
And we want to show you a photograph, a picture that has been sitting in the embers since the day we were founded. We bought this together. 10 years ago? Just over before 10 years ago, before the house started. And the picture is of a giraffe with a bird on its head. So we have to guess who is the giraffe. Who's the giraffe? And who's the bird pecking in his ear? Who's the bird pecking in his ear? 10 years ago, there was only Here Tonight. And Rosemary and Gregor and Consilia, she's there somewhere, and John Black, and Rosalind, and Alan, and Leo, and Lisa. Where's Lisa? Lisa, where are you? Down there. There was just a few of us then. But there was only Here Tonight in the Ember. And we're not very similar, are we?
We might be in one thing we're a lot of different characters.
I speak English fluently, and Here speaks it.
Well, I speak Dutch fluently.
And I don't speak Dutch. And he's a man, and I'm a woman. And I don't talk much. And Here speaks an awful.
All the time.
Seriously, when we started the community, I think we both wondered how we would ever manage together. I remember lying in the bath one day when we had a crowd of visitors, and Here had gone to his room, right, when we had the visitors, and I had gone upstairs for a bath afterwards. I remember thinking, I'm never going to be able to make a community with this fella, because every time we have visitors, he's going to do a runner. Do you remember? So we had a conversation, and I said to Here, even though I talk an awful lot, I actually really need help when we have visitors, because I can't be talking and making tea. So Here said, I'll come and talk and you can make the tea. But something like that. Okay? But for real, what we did say at that time, and I'm going to give you the picture now, what we did say at that time was, if a community could grow between both of us, we are so different. Here it is quiet, gentle, serene. I'm not quiet, gentle, or indeed serene. But between us both, we reckoned that anyone and everyone could come and be welcome. So when we look out here today, I guess we were right. But there is somebody, while we're both on the stage, there are two groups of people we want to thank. There is a little cup and saucer that Mary Egan gave me when she was leaving our community, all the way from Honduras. And she gave it to say, this is what Larsh Belfast is about. But we learned that very early, long before we were Larsh in Belfast. There was a man, a caretaker, in this church, in this very church hall. And Here Tonight, we're sitting on the floor, on the wooden floor in the sitting room, before there was a carpet. And we were sitting on black plastic bags the day we opened the Ember. We had no chairs, we had nothing. And this man, called George Turkington, do you want to stand up there so people can see you, George? There it is. George Turkington came across the road with two chairs, an open jar of coffee, an half-empty bag of sugar, 2 cups, 2 spoons, some milk, and said, here, you're welcome. And that was when we knew that we would never be anything without our neighbours. George, thank you. That day there was a crowd of very excited women in the city. Do you remember any of you? Any of you around on that day 10 years ago? Is Anne around? Is Hilda's around? Do you remember what was it that you were looking for? The bed. The Mothers' Union. So we had George from the Presbyterian Church here. The Mothers' Union from the Church of Ireland. A group of them said, we will furnish your first bedroom. And so they asked what day would Here to arrive, and he arrived from Belgium. And being mothers, they felt really sad for him. They felt he'd be a long way from home and they needed to look after him. Is that true? So they arrived at 3 o'clock that afternoon with a bed from, which was the shop again? Gillespie and Wilson. Do any of you know Gillespie and Wilson's? They put the bedding on the bed and they left a card. Can you remember it?
I thought you did the card ticket.
So that was when we learned the second thing that Mary even left us when she was leaving us. She said that Large Belfast was a soft space where everybody knew that they could be themselves. So, in fact, while we think that we were the ones to bring soft space to Belfast, while we think we were the ones that brought the mystery of a wee cup of tea, in actual fact, that's what we found when we came here. So, we came with big ideas, and we stayed because you welcomed us, and you were our friends. So you are Mothers Union, for us, a sign of welcome and a space where we know we belong.